Hello, everybody. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics. I'm your host, Kevin the Tank. Along with me is Atomic Tommy. Kaboom.
Kaboom.
I just threw that in there for the heck of it. What's going on, everybody? We had a great week off. We are back in action, full throttle. Another upcoming year. Can you believe it? Another year of doing it. We're going to be full on now. It is February, and we're every week now until we decide to take a vacation. But we are every week. We're back at it. We're refreshed, ready to go,
ready for the big game.
It's the week of the big game, and you know what?
How about those Chiefs?
Here we go. I'm so sick of hearing about the Eagles and the Chiefs. My gosh.
Well, nobody likes the Eagles. The Eagles suck.
Come on.
The Eagles are terrible.
Eagles and your fans, screw you. I'm not going to eat poop and put it on TV. Look at me on YouTube. I'm eating poop.
I'm an Eagles fan.
I fly like an eagle. Okay.
How about the birds? Shut up.
Yeah. Okay. Good job, Philly. You made it because you took Saquon Barkley away from the Giants. Good job, because the Giants are stupid. They're dumb.
It's a rough year to be a Giants fan.
It's a rough year to be a Giants fan, and like a Jets fan. You thought that the Aaron Rodgers thing would work out. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
let's
get to let's talk about our predictions, because everybody has to talk about the predictions for the big game.
The big game.
So I'll
let you go first.
Of course, I was rooting for the Bills, and everybody knows the Mafu couldn't even bring himself to this segment. I mean, he is just
still reeling from the Lions game.
That boy is destroyed. I mean, not only did the Lions lose, but then his backup, the Rams, because his favorite quarterback is Matthew Stafford. Poor mighty Mafu, man, he just took it, man.
Yeah.
He is obliterated. He did not want to be on the segment, but he did say, and you got to keep on, he is going to do a moment with the Mafu this week. He has got himself together to talk about some Hasbro stuff. So look forward to that. He'll do a moment with the Mafu this week coming at you. But let's talk about, Atomic Tommy, of course, you're cheering for the Chiefs. Do you think the Chiefs are going to beat the Philly Eagles? Are a good team this year. There's no doubt about it.
They're a good team. And people are saying they've been playing a little bit worse this season than they did last season. I agree with that. Mahomes has definitely had some issues, right? I mean, the Eagles are a good team. And if you watch that Bills game, you'll realize, I mean, James Cook, the running backs on the Bills, they kind of ran down the Chiefs' defense.
They did.
For the whole game.
I don't understand. With Saquon Barkley, if James Cook could do it, Saquon Barkley is going to just tear him up.
I'm a little scared of Saquon Barkley, but, and I was actually talking to Dan, the Amazing Spider-Man fan, about this the other day, actually, and we kind of came to the conclusion, if the Chiefs can just make everybody else have a bad game. They understand Saquon Barkley. They know Saquon Barkley's going to run them down, get a couple of touchdowns, but if they can just hold everybody else to a bad game, they can absolutely deal with Saquon Barkley, and make up for it.
And there's the Andy Reid factor.
Andy Reid
Reid's a hell of a coach, and he's got his team well coached. And their defense doesn't suck, but they are prone to giving up a lot of yardage on the run.
And don't forget, we have the ultimate power behind our team, Taylor Swift.
You do got the Swift.
And
now Caitlin Clark.
We got the power of the Swift and Caitlin Clark.
And now you got Caitlin Clark factor. It's all going, it's crazy.
And Taylor Swift behind us.
All this stuff going on. Wow. So it's gonna be a big game on a big night. So we can't wait to recap that after that. But let's talk about the other. We've got a new show starting.
Coming up next week, Tommy's Tasty Takes.
Wow.
Where we will be reviewing and ranking different foods, starting with famous popular chicken sandwiches from fast food establishments.
And you'll be using, and it is kind of funny, we're incorporating some of our fan base. So this first episode will be featuring our Dan the Amazing Spider-Man on our Cluck Off.
Yep. On the Cluck Off. It's going to be collaborative.
We're doing the best chicken sandwich, fast food chicken sandwiches.
We're not exactly sure how it's going to turn out for a video, but it's going to be up and you guys are going to be able to see it.
Yeah, so stay tuned and play a commenter like that too, because we're just adding all sorts of plus moments with the Mafu. We got all sorts of stuff. This year is going to be a big year.
I hope so.
Wow, we're all back, refreshed, ready to go. And now let's talk about the other elephant in the room. Diamond going. Yeah. They're taking the gas pipe.
And that's actually a good segue. Usually, we talk about new comics. I have no new comics to talk about this week because we didn't get any.
All the orders are really backed up.
Diamond. Well, not just that, but Diamond doesn't even really know when they're going to be getting things, because I'm pretty sure Diamond I mean, again, if you guys don't know, Diamond is not the exclusive distributor of Marvel anymore. So Diamond is kind of getting things secondhand too, which means they're not. I mean, we're not getting. If they're not getting things, we're definitely not getting things.
It's a mess.
So it is a complete mess. I'm not gonna break it all down on here. There are plenty of people on the internet who have already, but it's a mess and it is affecting us. We're trying to get things as quickly as we can, but you never know.
Well, getting the new vendor set up takes time. But we are, just for the customers out there, we are continuing to carry new comics. We are part of Lunar, soon to be part of Penguin, and we've got some other stuff up our sleeve. Stay tuned for that. We got some stuff coming later down the road. So that just has really put a hurting on us these last couple of weeks, having all the Diamond kerfluffle.
Yeah,
it's just not been good.
Though we to make up, we do have plenty of stuff to talk about this week, though. Fun stuff to make up for the no new comic discussion.
We got some stuff, and we got some complaints.
And because of complaints, and for the video, I'm there next week. I don't even really know what's coming out this week. The release order is so messed up for everybody. I think. I mean, there is technically a release date, but given that so many people get stuff from Diamond's release order is completely different from what the original intent from Marvel release schedule. So I don't really even know what's going to be out next week for us or what you can really pick up anywhere, because there's a chance you're not going to see it on the shelf. So for that, I would just encourage,
But we still stand by the titles we've backed. We still stand by Image. Image is killing it. You can still get your Image.
Yeah.
And for the DC stuff, the Absolute stuff is still doing okay.
Yeah, it is.
Batman's kind of fading off a little bit, but Wonder Woman's holding strong. Superman seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
So the Absolute stuff from DC is doing fine.
Yeah.
So the Marvel stuff's a little iffy, and we should kind of segue into Marvel a little bit, because the Captain America movie's coming out.
A couple weeks, yeah. There's a lot going on in Marvel right now.
And I don't know if they're trying to self-sabotage themselves.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely a question.
There was an interview. Why don't you give us the preface?
So I have the quote pulled up here, but basically, and this I think was last week, Anthony Mackie, star of the movie, playing Captain America Sam Wilson, has been around in the MCU for a decade now. Went on an interview talking about the new Captain movie and dropped this humdinger. He said,
"It's a humdinger.
For me," and I quote, "For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term America should be one of those representations," end quote. He then went on to a little bit elaborate on this, talking about, quote, "It's a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity, someone who is trustworthy and dependable," end quote.
Implying that America doesn't.
Right. Well, I wanted to give the full quote there so nobody can say we're misquoting him.
Or taking him out of context. Oh, jeez.
Here's the thing about this, though, guys. America, it's my view that America inherently, as a term, is defined by a lot of things, including those things that he defined. Honor, dignity, integrity. Those are all things that define America. Because he's talking
values.
about the United States. Those are American values.
And we're not out here to say that America's been perfect. There's been a lot of atrocities that America has done. We know the Native Americans have a legitimate complaint.
Right.
Let's talk about all the good too that America does stand for. You got a movie coming out that's Captain America, and so my response is, you don't want to shit on America when your movie is called Captain America. I mean, have you lost your mind before a movie come out and say, I don't know if we should use the term America, because
Well, it's not even. It's just more the fact that, okay, you don't think the term America should be defined. What are you trying to say? Captain America represents a lot of different things. You don't think America should be one? America is in the name of the character. America is partially defined by that in honor and that integrity. So by saying you don't think America should be defined in Captain America, I believe you're also saying those words should not be defined. And I'm not saying he doesn't believe that. Since then, he has backtracked it, right? Kevin Feige probably said, "Hey, take that back now." But it was a really stupid thing to say. And even if we're looking past the intentions for a second, or what he meant to say or what he didn't mean to say, 2 weeks before a movie launch, you don't say that. You don't completely uproot the common understanding and belief of a character like Captain America by saying America isn't represented by Captain America.
How about like something like this? And you don't even need to be a rocket scientist to say, you know, I think we filmed a great movie here. We're really looking forward for all Americans to come together to come and see this great film. Captain America. We're looking forward to seeing everybody come. It brings people together. It's a great movie. We're really excited to get Marvel back in the scene again, the forefront. So we think we've got, and even if the movie sucks, you're pumping up your own movie.
Right.
Pump it up. Don't crap all over the people that are in it and say, well, I don't know, America, you kind of suck. I don't think we should have the value. I mean, America is always the light on the hill for the world. That's why everybody wants to come to it. That's why everybody has an opportunity here, because it doesn't matter where you come from. You can come from nothing and make something of yourself. And that's what America stands for. That's the American system. That's the way it always has been. And to say the ideals, I mean, you just gotta wonder. You know, you just gotta say,
who approved this script?
and that's exactly right. I don't understand. I mean, again, no matter what his intentions were or what he meant to say, I don't even know why you'd say that prior to the launch of a Captain America film.
The election's over. No more politics. People want to be entertained. Nobody wants to get
right.
into
That's exactly right. And so, but again, I'm not trying. I don't know what he actually really meant to say by that. I'm sure he wasn't really trying to go out there and like boo America. But
you know what it is.
The point is,
I don't think Hollywood can help themselves. They get in an interview and then I have to, because I'm an actor, so my voice is so much more important than everybody else. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, just pump up the movie.
It's one of those things for me. Like, again, America is a lot of things, and honor, integrity, values, the people that make it up as a country.
Yes, we are a melting pot.
We're a melting pot. We have core values that define our society. And saying that the term America doesn't represent Captain America, or the term America represents all of those things that make up America.
And all the different cultures that are in it that made the melting pot. Made it great.
I'm not really sure what he's trying to say. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't want to try and, detective break down what he was trying to say. I just want to say I think it was really stupid of him to say that.
And we're still going to see the movie.
We're still
going to see the movie. I just think that's a really dumb thing to do, because some people I just think you just shouldn't probably shouldn't crap on America when the title of the movie is Captain America.
Probably. It's probably not a great idea. That's the
bottom line. Okay, so that's enough of that. I had to get that venting out, because it's like, man, they just can't help themselves. They just got to spew it out and turn everybody off. It's just like, come on, we just want to be entertained. There's plenty of problems in the world. But anyway, that leads us to the next one. Amazing Spider-Man cartoon. What is it really a cartoon?
that is the question. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man came out last week. First 2 episodes. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I'm going to be honest with you. It is only the first 2 episodes. It could get better. I do like, if I'm going to say one thing about it that I actually enjoy, that is the fact that they're not afraid to actually pull in characters from Spider-Man. You watch a Tom Holland movie, just given all of the rights and the, who owns this, who owns that dilemma. They tried to introduce Scorpion. We haven't seen Scorpion. The only Doc Ock, Green Goblin we've seen are pre-established Tobey Maguire versions of the character, which are fine. But it's nice to see a Disney Marvel cartoon actually trying to pull in characters from the Spider-Man mythos, even if some of them are not being done very well. And at the end of the day, I think my biggest gripe is the animation.
Yeah. In defense, it's called an animated series. I call it a cartoon because that's what I grew up with, but animated series. But plus, it's not really a kid's cartoon. They do swear.
Yeah, they do swear. And that is a defense I see a lot of people saying, like, oh, it's a kid's show. It's not that deep. Oh, it's a kid's show. It's not meant for you, blah, blah, blah. Well, it kind of is, because it's not really a kid's show. It's an all-ages show. And
I guarantee there's more adults watching it than kids.
I agree, so I agree, too. And that's, I think, an important distinction to make. There are definitely shows made for kids. I mean, Disney XD, is a
Amazing Spider-Man and his friends. That's awesome.
Yeah, Spidey and his amazing friends or whatever. That is definitely a young kids show. But shows like this, even Skeleton Crew or X-Men '97, are not kid shows. They're all they're
all ages.
They're all ages shows. Yes, this show can be watched and enjoyed by a younger audience. Well, it can also be enjoyed by Dan, the Amazing Spider-Man fan who's pushing 40, right? So we don't need this, we don't need to throw that out there to try and shut down an argument about it, because it's just really not, it's not honest.
Yeah, the animation sucks. That's our biggest gripe with it. It's not really a cartoon. I don't know how to describe it. It's really cheap animation.
It's cheap animation, and it looks like something from like the early 2000s, like a 2000s PlayStation cutscene. It's really bad.
It's really bad.
It's really bad. It's embarrassing.
If you want to see great animated cartoon Spider-Mans, you can stream all of them there. I mean, a lot of the streaming servers have the old from the 90s and even early 2000s. I mean, Spider-Man's been done several times.
Spectacular Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man. Even if you wanted to watch the Spider-Verse films, one of them is on Netflix.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I'm not going to say this show shouldn't have been made, but I question if we really needed another animated Spider-Man show right now when you have the animated Spider-Verse films doing exactly what this show sets out to do, and better in every way, which is bring new people to the fandom, entertain and please older fans, and tell a good Spider-Man story. Yes, it takes longer to release. They're films, but you can go back, you can rewatch them as many times, and I've rewatched those movies 100 times, and I enjoy it on each watch. Those movies hold up.
And cartoons make life better.
And cartoons do make life better.
I tell you what, I grew up, you missed this era, and I think a lot of people that are liking this cartoon didn't grow up in that era where we had cartoons, and this is going to segue into our next topic. We grew up with the greatest, the greatest decade. The 80s, late 70s through 95 was the greatest time. It's the pinnacle. Mm-hmm. Everything was awesome. The toys were awesome. You guys missed out on all the cool, you have cool toys now, but it's not the same because you don't have all the accessories, the vehicles, all the stuff for imagination, because you guys are all about screens.
Yeah.
And I think this generation, they think that this is a great cartoon. It's really not.
Right.
Go back and watch the animated. We're going to go through our top cartoons of all time here in just a second. But yeah, that's new Spider-Man. There's plenty of better Spider-Man animation out there to watch.
Yeah. And again,
and stream it, watch it, and find out, see what you like. That's great. But
it could get better. I could, because I'm probably not going to talk about it again until after the whole show's ended.
Yep.
It could, we could come back in a couple weeks, and I could be like, I was completely wrong. This show was amazing.
All right, Tommy.
We could do that.
Time to go at it. Top cartoons all time.
We're gonna be talking about our top 5 comic book cartoons of all time with honorable mentions, and we're just going off of personal connection here, enjoyment here. We're not going off quality or larger impact.
Yeah, and there's no right or wrong answer. In fact,
right or wrong answer.
Comment in on what you liked. We love to hear what you guys had to say. So make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and also comment on this segment that we're about to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna start with my honorable mentions. I have 2. 1, Ultimate Spider-Man. We were just talking about great Spider-Man cartoons. Ultimate Spider-Man, long running, great show. And really just does need to be on this list somewhere, even if it's not the top 5. My other honorable mention is gonna be Batman the Animated Series. It started it all. Probably one of the most... It didn't start it all, but it's really widely renowned as one of the greatest superhero cartoons ever made. And I agree with that, even though I did not enjoy it as much as others on this list. But coming in at number 5 for me, we're going to have Young Justice. Young Justice is a great DC show. Probably one of... DC nails it in their animated content. Almost every DC animated project I've ever seen is really, really good.
It is.
And Young Justice it's faithful, it's accurate, it tells new stories with incredible characters. It's not quite Teen Titans, but it's a nice Teen Titans adjacent take.
Local fan favorite Christopher Jones was on that for a little bit.
He was. He did a little bit of the art and animation for that, which is really, really cool. Coming in at number 4 for me, another DC cartoon. It's going to be that 2000s Justice League show. Man, What a great show. Of all of those kind of, earlier DC cartoons, Superman, Batman, Justice League, that kind of stuff, Batman Beyond, Justice League was the one I enjoyed the most. I loved that iteration of the Justice League. I loved how they handled it, the characters, the stories. Everything about that show was great. That's number 4 for me. Number 3, going to have to be Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Our first Marvel show making its way onto the list. I would say one of the most comic accurate Marvel cartoons ever made. Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes is great.
That's a really good series. And you can stream that. If you haven't streamed that one, get that one for sure.
You gotta check it out. It's really faithful to the Avengers stories. Does a great job adapting villains, heroes, everything. It's an incredible show to watch and rewatch, and holds up even now. Number 2, back to DC, gonna be that 2000s Teen Titans show. Loved that, grew up with that. Again, awesome. It really, after George Perez and Marv Wolfman really established those guys in DC in the 80s, they definitely died out a little bit once you got into the 2000s and into the 90s. They really didn't hold up after that. That show, that 2000s Teen Titans show, is the reason why those characters are as popular as they are today. If it wasn't for that show, nobody would care about the Teen Titans. That show is incredible. It's awesome. It redefined a lot of those characters. Like, a lot of the iterations and how these characters are handled now is because of the popularity of that show.
They're kind of the X-Men of DC, though, wouldn't you say?
They are kind of the X-Men of DC, kind of out there in their own little realm, side pocket of the universe. But that show's amazing. And coming in at number 1 for me, a lot of potential speculation on what it would be. An underrated show that none of you probably expected, or maybe some of you never heard of, Iron Man Armored Adventures. Definitely kind of a deep cut here in Marvel cartoons. A completely alternate take on Iron Man. Giving sort of that teenage sort of vibe to Iron Man, in the sense that he's not, a 20-year-old rich billionaire. He's a high schooler with friends, and they sort of adapted in that way, almost like a Spider-Man-esque kind of manner. But it's really good. The theme song is an absolute banger. How they adapt Spider-Man villains is really interesting. How they do it is great. And it's just an amazing show. You can stream that too on Disney Plus. None of this is sponsored, right? We're just plugging Disney Plus for no reason. But an incredible show. That's my top 5. How about for you?
Wow. Okay, so now, comic related or just superhero related?
Comic related.
Comic related. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to go deep cuts here because I'm, like I said, product of the 80s. I got to start, all-time favorite, of course, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, yeah.
Scooby-Doo with the Mystery Machine. Couldn't wait to watch that cartoon all the time. Man, that was great. And Super Friends coming in at number 4. Super Friends, Justice League. It was just amazing to watch. Aquaman and Superman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and all their adventures. And yeah, the animation was cheesy, but it was good for what it was back then.
For its time.
And I still say it's better than the new Amazing Spider-Man that's out right now. All right, number 3 has to be by far one of my favorites, Robotech. Robotech was a real game changer for me as a kid. It was definitely the first cartoon where death actually happened, because all the other ones, there was shooting, and nobody dies, and it was the first one to also give you the importance of why we need a national defense and the stress on national defense and why the military is important to a society and national defense and earth defense. It was really a good job at subtly messaging that and ingraining that in the youth, which is why there was still some patriotism there. And then it also had religion in it. So, I mean, it really crossed boundaries with religion, death, and the need for national defense. So it was really ahead of its time. And it still holds up today. And I know that the cult fans for Robotech are real. I mean, they're really into it. I mean, I'm a Macross Saga. That's my favorite. That's going to be my all-time favorite. That's the one I watched on TV the most. So that's going to be in my heart forever because that was such a great series. And it was the first step into anime too.
Yeah.
So you had the crossover between a cartoon, and it was the first anime because obviously it was a Japanese cartoon, but boy was it was amazing. And if you've never ever seen Robotech, I mean, you don't know what you're missing. You're living in a house with no windows, so check it out. Go ahead and find the Macross Saga series. It's also a great comic. If you've never read the comic series, read that. It's based off the show anyway. But anyway, let's go to number 2, which is Transformers.
Yeah,
man, that was a game changer too because you had the cartoon to watch, you had the comics to read, and you had the toys to play with. Unbelievable! It was amazing. And number 1 for me, definitely G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
G.I. Joe is still my favorite of all time. I can go back and watch episodes all the time. I can quote in my head some of the lines from Roadblock and Shipwreck and Duke. And, man, it was great. They'd walk into the cave. I haven't seen this since the Late Show. They bring in some pop culture at the time, and I love everything about it. I love G.I. Joe as my favorite, and then no one died. Everyone blew up and parachuted out all the time, and it was just. And then at the end of the show, they always had and knowing is half the battle. They always had a message for the kids.
They did.
It was great. And an honorable mention, of course, you gotta love DuckTales.
DuckTales. That's a deep cut. That really is.
That's a '90s one. That's a little older, but DuckTales was just a cool thing to watch. And then Teen Titans Go. I like the modern one now because they reference everything. Everything is kind of referenced into our age groups. Like when they go back and do the A-Team band, and that truly is a truly all ages cartoon because they make it silly for the kids. And they make
a message for the kids.
And they also make it super fun for the adults watching it with their kids. They're not like, oh, geez, he's watching Barney again. No. Oh, you're watching Teen Titans Go. That's kind of funny because they throw in references that I grew up with.
Yeah.
So you've got
many 80s pop culture references.
So some of that Stranger Things nostalgia to it,
Yeah.
So those are my honorable mentions, and of course there's many more. I was a cartoon for that. I love Dungeons and Dragons on Saturday mornings. I couldn't wait to watch that. Of course, you had Alvin and the Chipmunks. They're not really a comic, but anyway, cartoons was the jam back then. But those are my big go-to 5. Please let us know what you guys love. I mean, like I said, there's no wrong answer here. It's just a ton of fun. So make sure that you smash the like button, subscribe, and make sure you comment. We want to know what your favorite animated series or cartoons were growing up, or what you like or don't like. We would love to hear it.
We do. And one more thing about my favorite Iron Man Armored Adventures. Hey, Hasbro, Marvel Legends, you've made a bajillion Iron Man figures, but no Iron Man Armored Adventures. Iron Man, we need one of these, okay? You just did, the Spider-Man animated series 1, like the weird-looking Spider-Man. You just did, like, Ultimates Iron Man. Please, okay? Let's get an Iron Man Armored Adventures Iron Man action figure. Just the one. That's all we need. I'll personally buy your whole stock.
You know what I almost forgot, which the fans are going to just annihilate us for. And this, okay, from 89 to the 90s, okay, I will give you, and because I did watch it, but I didn't religiously watch it like I did the other ones when I was younger. But let's not forget about those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
Forgot about Turtles.
And I should have entered that in. Because that is just, that
was an unfortunate misplay on
that was a misplay on my part, and I will take full responsibility for that miss.
No, it's partially my fault, too, because I grew up with that 2012 Nickelodeon Turtle show that is really good, and it completely slipped my mind when making this list.
I shouldn't have let it, because that made me experiment with more pizza toppings than ever before. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles increased my love for pizza like nothing else did. I tell you what, we love those pizzas, and we always remember their famous line, "Pizza dude's got 30 seconds to hear my pizza," because Domino's used to have the 30-minute delivery or pizza was free. And so of course, everyone who remembers the great live action film, the pizza dude's got 30 seconds to get here, and he's hiding there. It's great. The secret of the ooze, there's also the Turtles movies. The cartoons are great. The comics are great. Boy, I tell you what, I can't believe I missed Turtles. So then not only we're gonna make it the top 6, and we'll throw that one, and I'll give that one a number 4.
I'll put that one at number 6 for me. We'll make it the top 6.
Because sorry about that for the Turtles fans that are pulling their hair out right now. Because yes,
and it's important.
Turtles was great.
If we're going on things that people are gonna rip
hey,
us
Switch,
about.
sorry about that, buddy.
Sorry, Switch, yeah. If we're going off shows people are gonna rip us about not mentioning. Not one of us mentioned X-Men. The 90s X-Men show.
I'm not going to apologize. People watched it.
Apologize for that.
Look, people watched that when they didn't. That wasn't a thing. The Turtles was you didn't have to know anything about superheroes to watch the Turtles like that.
What I would say about the X-Men is that theme song is probably the most recognizable superhero theme song next to obviously Spider-Man's theme. You know that one. You know X-Men. And you know Batman. It is in that top 3 most recognizable superhero cartoons because almost like Turtles, it was one of those shows where going into it, you didn't need to know who the X-Men were going into that show. You learned everything you needed to know about the X-Men watching that. And it is that show that got so many people into X-Men. You know, it was that show, the reason why there's so many X-Men fans, I think, then, you know.
Or Jim Lee relaunching a comic in the 90s.
Jim Lee, well, that too, But, you know, that's, again, a perfect example of a show broadening the fandom beyond just people reading comics.
It did. You know? But yeah, that's, like I said, X-Men just...
We don't have to apologize for that.
That was its own game. That doesn't really count as all-time cartoons. But Turtles, sorry, fans, we do recognize Turtles was great. And, I mean, heck, I still got the Nintendo game.
Yeah,
I still have the Nintendo game for Turtles, and I'm an Eastman fan. I have them sign a few pops and a few comics and have some art. But boy, I tell you what, those Turtles. So I apologize for that miss. But yeah, that's our cartoons. Like I said, drop us a note. Let us know what you think. It's time for some shout-outs.
Yep.
Man, we missed doing the shout-outs. Mad JD, missed you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for your support. Dan, Amazing Spider-Man, gonna be on your first episode of your new food show.
Yep.
Which is great. And then, of course, Dean, we want to thank you. Jimmy the Sousa. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you come back when you're on the mend, all right? Caleb, of course, looking forward to seeing you again. David, a.k.a. Superman. David, shout out, buddy. Mark, hi, Mark. And then Brian, Jeff, Ryan, Jim, Liz, Sheila, want to give you a special shout out. Eli, special shout out. The Gostovich family, awesome job in Wisconsin. Keep it up to our Wisconsin contingent out there. Pat, Sydney, and of course, another Dan, and then Larry, and then, of course, Rick and Melissa. And just got to tell you, I got to say, not our up north contingent anymore. They're coming down to the cities.
Yep.
So we're looking forward to hanging out with you guys more. And then still up north to our Duluth contingent up there. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Jamie, you not only get tagged on with Dan, now you get your own name on the shout-out section. So, Jamie, special shout-out to Jamie out there. Welcome to the fan base, and we appreciate you subscribing, and that's our shout-outs for the week. If you'd like to be on the shout-out list, make sure you let us know. If you like what you see, smash the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. So, yeah, for Atomic Tommy, I'm Kevin the Tank. Looking forward to seeing you guys next time. We're back. We'll recap the big game.
The big game.
We'll take it easy, guys.